It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news. This is the Southwest Outdoors Report.
Hi everybody, welcome into the beautiful mountains of South Central Arkansas and Lake Ouachita. This place is a fantastic mecca of summertime fun of all kinds, from houseboating to jet skis, wakeboarding, skiing, but of course what we're here for and you're interested in is the fishing. This is a fantastic striper and bass fishery, and on today's show we're going to go out there and explore some of the fishing and let you know what's going on here at Ouachita. While we're doing that, we're taking you around the region for all of your latest fishing and lake reports from our expert team of reporters. We are basing out of Mountain Harbor Resort. We'll tell you much more about this place, but it is perfectly situated for the fishing here at Lake Ouachita. Right now though, to get things started, we take you back to the FSN studios, and it's Julie with your weekend planner.
A look at the fishing tables for the weekend indicates that you can expect good fishing conditions on both days. The best game fish activity starts early though, with peak times taking place at 5:40 in the morning on Saturday and again at 6:30 a.m. on Sunday. Expect sunrise to take place at 6:26 and the sun to set at 8:22. And evenings will showcase a moon that is 55% illuminated. We'll be right back with all the latest freshwater and coastal fishing information from around our region. Stay with us.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Mercury, the official outboard of the Southwest Outdoors Report for 11 years running. By Academy, right stuff, low price, every day. And by Tracker Boats, fish the finest.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Lake Ouachita on what has turned out to be the most beautiful fishing day you can ever imagine. It's about, doggone it, there's a bite right there. It's about 80 degrees, leaf, and the wind is just almost dead calm, which is really probably not what you want on a clear water lake like this. Lake Ouachita is a huge lake, and the water is just absolutely gin clear here. Got him. It's a good fish. That one hit a Strike King Tour grade football jig. Don't jump off, just stay right there. There we go, nice bass right there. Just a good Ouachita chunk. And I'll show you all the equipment at the end of the show, but this is my first time to fish that football jig. And I love the way it bumps along rocks. If you're coming to Ouachita, you're gonna be fishing a lot of rocks. It's a lot of, well, every kind of rock. Rock cliffs, big boulders, chunk rock about the size of a basketball, and pea gravel points. So it's a rock fisherman's heaven. And there's a lot of good bass in this lake like that one. That's a good largemouth. There's a lot of good spots in here too. Hopefully we'll catch one of those before this is all done, but that's a great way to get it going. It's late morning, beautiful day. You just couldn't ask for anything better than this headed into the summertime. We're gonna let this fish go back. What a gorgeous bass. All right, let's get your fishing report started. Check in with Cajun Phil and Kevin over in Louisiana.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with your Fox Sports Louisiana Saltwater Report. I tell you what, Calcasieu Lake is on fire right now. Tell you what, these guys came out of Houston. We went out there, we just a couple trout short of a limit. We got a nice mess of reds, a couple good flounder. Caught most of these fish on live shrimp under a popping cork. And yeah, old Barry and Dad came down here the other day and made a film, and we caught them right where old Barry fished, but we won't tell anybody that. If y'all want to make a trip down here, the number's on the screen. You can give us a call. Tell you what, the whole Louisiana coast right now is firing off for trout and redfish. Lots of redfish showing up in the marsh, gold spoon, soft plastic, good to sight cast them. But for your speckled trout action, birds are starting to work. These right here, just wherever we found a little move in water, threw a live shrimp under a popping cork. Tell you what, couldn't go wrong. Right now, we're going to turn it over to old Cage and Phil to see what's going on in the freshwater scene.
Thank you, Captain Kevin. I tell you what, friends, you can see saltwater fishing has been great, and it continues to be great. But you know what? So is the bass fishing. We're getting calls from everywhere. We talked to good friends that's fishing Black Lake. They said, Cajun, you ought to get over here to Black Lake right now. We're fishing in 3 to 5 foot of water over the hydrilla. They're throwing small spinner baits, and they're doing really well throwing spinner baits. As far as the marsh goes, like I say, Reserve's been really hot here lately. They're catching lots of bass, and like I said, they're throwing gold spoons with a pork rind behind it. They're doing good over the lily pad. Calcasieu River, that's been really good. They're throwing creature baits, small crankbaits, and they catch a lot of bass. Everywhere we talk right now, they're catching bass. So come on down to Louisiana, get you some bass, or come on down and let's go saltwater fishing. Till next time, this is Old Cajun Phil for Captain Kevin. Saying happy fishing and may God bless, and we're going to see you folks next week.
Got him. The spot or largemouth? Little largemouth. Doggone it, I thought I was going to catch a spot. Skinny Lake Ouachita bass for you right there. I want to mention some brand new batteries that are in the back of my NITRO Z8 bass boat. They're the brand new Exide AGM batteries. They are unbelievable. Maintenance free, longer life, less time between recharges. They recharge faster. Everything better about this improved battery. It's sealed so that you can even mount it on its side if you're in cramped quarters in your boat. If it's time for you to have a new battery, you have got to check out the brand new Exide AGM batteries. They're available at your local Academy store, other battery retailers, and you can see a full video with further explanation, including one very important point about charging these batteries that you need to know if you're thinking about buying one of them. That'll be on our YouTube channel under the how-to videos. You can get there from the front page of our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com. We'll be back to Lake Ouachita in just a second. Oh, one hit my soft jerk bait. Coming straight at me. Straight at me, straight at me. Oh, good fish. Good fish. All right, you done? I think he's done. Up. Oh, look at that fatty right there. No, not a fatty. That's a skinny. That is a, that one's not eating very well. Hey everybody, we're on Ouachita Lake today. Catching a few largemouth and a few spotted bass in the boat wake right now. There's a boat that just went by behind us. We'll let that fish go back here real quick. That one hasn't been feeding up too much on shad. Want to mention a couple of things. First of all, if you're coming to this lake and want a great place to stay, Mountain Harbor Lodge is unbelievable. They've got a great lodge. They've got individual cabins that are multiple bedrooms. They've got 3 swimming pools, a fantastic restaurant, great food, a full-service spa, luxury up and down the line. They've got a full-service marina with a store, boat ramp, boat rentals. You don't even have to have a boat if you want to come to this lake. You can stay at Mountain Harbor Lodge, have everything all in one spot. That one hit a soft plastic jerkbait, and up shallow, just twitching it along in this very clear water. You do need to downsize everything. I'm using 14-pound test strand fluorocast line. You've got to have really clear line because I can see 6 feet down in this water very easily. It's gin clear. Now, as we move further into the summertime, these fish are going to move back out deeper. In fact, on our members only bonus video, if you want to go to our website, I'll give you lots more information about the lake, including the patterns that you're going to be fishing if you want to plan a vacation here in the hotter weather months upcoming. Right now, let's check in with Brian Hughes and Bill Olson for your Texas fresh and saltwater fishing reports.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by CJ's Catfish Punch Bait. You need to try this stuff if you're a cat fisherman, and Richland Chambers is a good place to start. Fish along the deeper drops on the main lake points for Richland Chambers cats. Hybrids and, of course, sandies will be found on main lake points. Look for the schools of bait fish on your graph or watch for the birds. Drop down a slab on top of them about 1 ounce to the bottom, couple of cranks off the bottom, you'll connect with the hybrids. Or you can also try some of the torpedo and spot type baits for the active surface fish. Now, down on Lake Conroe, bass fishermen, again, boat docks, boat docks, boat docks. Flip your jigs, your Texas rigs in and around the docks. and work your top waters and spot tight baits around the outside edges. And finally, Cooper Lake also has great hybrid fishing right now. You'll be looking a lot shallower than you may think. 12 to 8 feet on your main lake points with your shad tight baits on a jig head there at Cooper Lake. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by CJ's Bait Company. Be sure and check out Southwest Outdoors Report for more information on Texas outdoors. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island, the fishing capital of Texas, where anglers enjoy pristine bays, estuaries, 18 miles of surf, and the deep blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Plus the local restaurants will even cook your catch come sundown. Come fish and play Texas Island style. For more information, visit portaransas.org. Well, the weather and fishing continues to heat up. On the Middle Coast, live bait anglers are fishing grass beds, shorelines, and reefs from San Antonio Bay southward to the King Ranch shoreline and on into the land cut. The bait of choice is either croaker or live shrimp. The best artificial bets are voodoo shrimp under a mauler, and redfish are working flats and tight to the shoreline, hitting wedge tails or Toby Hogan's mud minnows. Now on the upper coast, recent rains freshen the upper portion of Sabine Lake. Mid-lake and southward, birds continue to work. Shell reefs on the Louisiana and South shoreline remain hot options. The Galveston jetties continue to hold good trout and bull redfish. The shell reefs in East and West Galveston bays are giving up fish to drifting anglers. The bays and areas around San Luis Pass have also been good for kayakers, those wading shorelines, and drifting shell. Now, shell reefs in the south shoreline of East Matagorda have given up good specs. Around Port O'Connor, grass beds are holding fish, and triple tail has shown up in West Matagorda Bay. On the lower coast, some much needed rain fell and dropped salinity levels. Fishing has been good for several weeks around Long Bar, Mexiquita Flats, and north of the Convention Center. The topwater action has really turned on. Now out of Port Mansfield, good trout have been caught up north by wading anglers. Trout, ling, and Spanish mackerel are at the East Cut jetties. This weekend, both Saturday and Sunday have a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low tides each day. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Costa Sunglasses. See what's out there. By Luz, setting a new standard in fishing performance. Feel the difference. By Strand Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability. By Strike King Lures, #1 in fishing. And by Whataburger, just like you like it.
Hey, welcome back everybody. One of the great things about staying at Mountain Harbor Resort, where we're staying here on Lake Ouachita, is that you're very close to one of the best big striper areas in the entire lake, and here's why. Right behind me you see a buoyed off cove, and inside that cove is the area where they pen raise rainbow trout. The Arkansas Game and Fish Commission over the years has established this as their nursery. They raise these trout to stockable size and then stock them in rivers and lakes around the state of Arkansas. But over the years, the stripers have figured out that occasionally one of those trout gets out of the pen, and to a striper, a 10 or 12-inch rainbow trout is like cotton candy. Now you're looking at one of my good friends, Bruce Gilby, who runs a car dealership in Little Rock, Arkansas, joined me for part of the day, and he caught one of these stripers in the area very near this buoyed off area. Now this is not one of those giant 30 or 40 pounders, obviously, but it does show you that this is one of the best areas for catching stripers on Lake Ouachita. Let's check on your Oklahoma fishing and lake reports with Gary Dollahan.
Hey, I want to start out by thanking the meteorologists for finally getting the weather right here in Oklahoma this spring. We appreciate it. Lots of people are getting out now. Good fishing reports coming in from many places across the state. Excellent bass report coming in from Kanawha. They're saying they're catching those largemouth around the shorelines in the reeds. Good bass reports coming in from Broken Bow, Pine Creek, Eufaula, Fort Gibson, Hudson, Grand, and Keystone. If there's a magical depth for bass right now, it seems to be around 6 feet. So if you haven't been out yet, looking for a tip, try that bait at around 6 feet right now. Good white bass reports coming in from many places too. Seem like the best lures are small white rooster tails and the little Bobby Garland stroller crappie baits. Thank you to Eli Brumnett of Wagner for letting me know that those big white bass females have just in the last few days gotten really active up there in the Shoto Bend area. So they're catching some giants. Man, that's a fun way to fish in the springtime. Got some current going on. Get big white bass on there, a great fun fish to catch. Crappie fishing. Ran into young Eli Brumley on Wagner this past week, just a few days after he caught this big old white crappie. Weighed 2 pounds, 12 ounces, caught it on a Bobby Garland baby shed. Eli, great job on that fish. Also ran across Gary Rowe and Mark Sutton fishing on Fort Gibson. Both those guys had good messes of fish. They both say it looks like the black crappie species might have spawned, or at least a lot of them have, but the white species seem to be more active in the spawning areas right now. Good catches on both of those and some really nice fish coming in. Springtime fishing in Oklahoma, it's still going on. This is going to be a great month for it, but you can't catch them if you don't go.
Oh, I got one. Spotted bass. Good spot. Come up in the boat with me, partner. There is a good Lake Ouachita spotted bass. I wanted to catch one of those for you. Been working real hard. That Strike King tour grade football jig does it again. But look at that. That's a beautiful Lake Ouachita spotted bass for you. You can tell them by the lines down their sides. If I zoomed in real close, they've got 2 little patches of teeth on their tongue. But that is a nice one right there, and there's a lot of these in Lake Ouachita. All right, back this fish goes. You'll get to see it swim away in this clear water. Goodbye. And we've got to take a quick break, but before we do, I want to show you something. If you spend enough time in the outdoors, you see everything. Well, I saw something today I've never seen before. Fishing along, a big Canada goose started following along beside the boat and literally getting up close enough where we could almost reach out and grab it. Then we cranked up, began to move across the lake. She just kept right up with the boat, followed us around fishing for about 2 hours. It was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in the outdoors, but this Canada was literally right beside the boat the entire time. We couldn't get rid of it.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. By Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. By MotorGuide Trolling Motors, engineered for anglers. And by NITRO Performance Bass Boats, pure performance.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Whataburger Ask the Pro feature, the weekly segment where our viewers ask top professional anglers for advice. Our question this week is from Henry in Texas, who wants to know, do you use a leader on your braided line? If so, how long? Let's check with Bassmaster Elite Angler Terry Scroggins to find out.
Almost every pro out there now uses braided line with a fluorocarbon leader on their spinner rods especially, and I'm one of those guys that do that. And I feel like it's important to have it like at least a 10 to 15 foot leader because braided line floats, fluorocarbon sinks, and the braid will actually interfere with the action of the bait if your leader's not long enough. So put you a 10 or 15 feet leader on there. What that also does is absorb some of the shock because braid has no stretch. It'll allow you to make a little stronger hook set without breaking your leader. If you have too short a leader, you're gonna break off all the time. So always 10 to 15 feet.
Thanks, Terry. If you have a question for one of the pros, just visit our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com, follow the Ask the Pro link, and send us your information. Now let's check with Barry for the Costa Catch of the Week winner.
We've made it back onto the back deck at our cabin at Mountain Harbor Resort, and it's time for the Costa Catch of the Week winner. He is Edward Soto of Port O'Connor, Texas, showing off not 1, but 4 big redfish he caught with some members of his family. These fish measured 36, 38, 40, and 41 inches. They were caught out of Matagorda Bay on the Texas coast, and all 4 of these fish were on and being fought at the same time. If you'd like to enter your big fish photo in our contest, you do that at our website, southwestoutdoorsreport.com. Right-hand side of the page is the Costa Catch of the Week box that you'll click, fill it in, send it in, and you could win a brand new pair of Costa sunglasses like Edward does on this week's show. If you'd like to see all the Costas, again, go to our website, Click on the Coastal logo right there on the front page. It takes you to their website. You can see all the lens and frame styles, like the frame style I was wearing on this week's episode, Salt Break. Next up, it's time for the Academy Sports and Outdoors Right Stuff feature. We show you the gear you'll need if you're coming to Lake Ouachita. I would narrow it down to 3 baits that I would have tied on here. Starting early in the morning, if you want to try to catch a big striper, I would be throwing a Strike King KVD Sexy Dog Topwater Lure. Then later in the day, when the sun gets up, go to bass fishing. I would switch over to the Strike King Tour Grade Football Jig, like you saw me catch a couple of good fish on today's show. And when it really gets difficult, I would go all the way down to a lead head like you see here with a little finesse worm rigged on the back of it. The other thing that's really critical is you'll need small diameter and very clear line. We mentioned this earlier. I mention it again. You need Stren Fluorocast fluorocarbon line for the Gin Clear water here at Lake Ouachita. Celebrity deaths don't normally get my attention, but one a few weeks ago most certainly did. We lost the greatest country music singer of all time, in my humble opinion, when George Jones passed away at 81 years of age. I remember my dad waking my brother Terry and I up at 4 o'clock in the morning every Saturday morning to go fishing. We would drive to the lake listening to the Bill Mack Open Road Show on WBAP radio, and we got a heavy dose of George Jones country music. I got to fulfill one of my bucket list wishes just last year when I got to see George live and in person, one of his final tours when he came through WinStar Casino in Oklahoma. I've been playing guitar for over 40 years now, and some of the most fun I've had over the years is playing George Jones music like, he stopped loving her today. They placed a wreath upon his door, and soon they'll carry him away. He stopped loving her today. George Jones had a very distinctive voice. George Jones may be gone, but George, your country music will live on forever. That's this week's Stuff That Matters. Hey, be sure and join us next week at our special time of 11 o'clock, right after the SEC Tournament baseball game here on Fox Sports Southwest, and our re-air Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock. Be sure and set your DVR for that airing. That time never changes. Also, you can get all of our past episodes on our YouTube channel and more fishing news, photos, and video on our Facebook page. You get to both of those places from the front page of our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com. If you'd like to book a guide trip here to Lake Ouachita, you'll want to contact Mike Worm. Now, you can do that either through Mountain Harbor Resort. He's one of the official guides there, or you can contact him at his telephone number on your screen. We'll see you next week from Lake Ouachita. Till then, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.